Today we're going to be talking with Representative Emily O'Brien about her support of House Bill 1012, which provided significant funding for domestic and sexual assault survivors throughout the state. Representative O'Brien, it's such a treat to have this time with you today, especially after session. The dust has settled a little bit. Maybe we should go back to the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about how we got connected and why?
Yeah, so CVIC had invited me in, and actually I think a couple other legislators to do some tours and just figuring out how to navigate this whole legislative process. You guys were ahead of the game with, submitting through the executive budget recommendation through the Department of Health, and we were ready to, jump in and become champions of CVIC, knowing the amount of work and legwork that you do in our community, and then getting to know the other partners across the state and the work that they're doing. So I think really being able to paint the picture of the work and the advocacy that you guys are doing was a no-brainer.
I actually came to you in 2021 and said, help, we have some funding constraints, and you really leaned in, brought your notebook and scribbled a bunch of notes for us, and then really helped us prepare for the 2023 session, where we walked in with a pretty audacious request. So it was CVIC and our 18 sister agencies asking for $17.5 million for all 19 programs, 300 employees. But then this year, it's just been super rewarding to really kind of look back and see now what these dollars will do for families in the future. So you were instrumental in helping us procure almost $12 million for one bill alone, which is House Bill 1012 from the Department of Health and Human Services. So maybe just to give us perspective, why are these dollars so important for domestic and sexual violence victims?
I think for myself as a representative, my approach that I like to take is I really like to dive in. I want to know the ins, the outs, the good, the bad, the ugly, where can we improve? And with how many partners and advocates that the coalition has, that was a huge piece too. So how do we streamline that and hit it home? Having the sheriffs working together, having the sheriffs doing, one letter together rather than all these individual letters. Victims of abuse coming and testifying and being comfortable to share their story live. I mean, that's impactful. And not hearing it from someone else, hearing it directly from them, and then actually getting to look at the breakdown of the numbers. This is what the private sector is doing. This is what private donors are doing. These are the grants. And then this was the impact from the state. To me, it was a no-brainer that the state had to step up to the plate and help kind of fill some of the needs that were being required from our partners in the program. And then figuring out that amount, we've made progress.
We made a lot of progress. And then this session, you really came through with a creative idea of how to source that. I don't know if you are open to talking a little bit more about that, because that was kind of new.
Yep, so where the funding came from side of things, you're trying to figure out which funds you can pull money from to fund this, because you have general fund, you have the community health trust fund. That's one that we really like to utilize because it meets the purpose and the mission of where the dollars are going to. And then we started doing a little bit more research, myself and Representative Mitskog, about, the impacts of gaming, because our charitable gaming dollars, there's significant dollars from the tax that is sitting in those accounts. And so I think there's like $46 million sitting in the gaming account that would already go to the general fund. And so instead of sending those dollars to the general fund right away, we actually ended up pulling some of the dollars from that account to help fund the needs that we were looking at.
I was very humbled sitting in those testimonies too. Like, it's a lot of very important needs that would be so hard to say no to.
And that's just, how we kind of have to navigate, what levels of needs are we comfortable with not funding or partially funding, and how do you navigate that? Because it's not an easy choice or decision that anyone wants to have to make, but it's the reality of, the jobs that we're elected to do. And so I think, getting the actual data and statistics of, okay, these are the dollars we're appropriating, this is the utilization. When I think about a return on investment for what we're doing, it's the long term. It's the, not having generations becoming a part of the cycle, it's breaking that cycle. And so to me, that's short-term, things that we're getting done, but the long-term impact of those families that need this, whether they've been a part of the cycle or not.
I just feel so grateful that you could have said no, but you said yes to our clients and to our families. And I guess my last question is someone that is, you've seen what we've been able to do for Grand Forks and now the state. But where do you think survivors would be without some of these resources?
It's a hard question to ask because I don't want to know where they would be if we didn't have some of these resources. I look at, okay, we have opportunity to double down on people that are incarcerated to give them programs. We have opportunities to double down on victims of domestic and sexual assault and violence. And we have opportunity to help those that have committed these offenses. And so I think giving them those tools and resources is vital, because I couldn't imagine where we would be if we didn't have it. I think we would see crime rates going up. I think we would see more deaths. I think we would see a lot of things that we don't want to have to see or have to have a reality of that because of the preventiveness that CVIC and the other 18 agencies are doing across the state.
Well, we so appreciate your trust in us, your faith in us. I'm kind of excited to come back in 2027 to share with you, what those dollars have been able to do.
Oh, I can't wait. It's life-changing. It already is, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Just one last shout out to you. Our agency did nominate you for the North Dakota Association of Nonprofits Legislative Champion, and you and Senator Hogan were acknowledged last week for that. So
yes. I'm truly honored. I mean, I am so serious when you guys make it easy, for a legislator like myself to go in and dive in and make stuff happen. And when you have partners that, hey, if we'll get this information, we're going to do this together, it's why we do what we do. And I still am truly honored. I am humbled by the work that you guys do and me being able to have a seat at the table to help make an impact. So thank you for that too.
Well, it's been an incredible partnership. The good news is we still have a lot of work to do. So we're going to you're stuck with us for a while.
I'm totally okay with that. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you so much.